We talk about 90s Trek as if it was perfect, but it wasn't all fun and games, my friends. And so I believe in inclusivity and diversity and equality. And so I attack Starfleet Academy pretty often, of course, on the channel, as you're aware. Now we are going to talk about what's wrong with Voyager. That's right. We're going to get into the season 2 episode Alliances right now. This one just fell really, really flat. And I'm going to explain why in just a moment. So please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all things in science fiction and fantasy. I am a sci-fi writer myself, and so I'll be coming out with my Space Fleet Academy soon enough. This is my work that I've been working on for the past few weeks. I'm about 65% done, and I've talked about it much on the channel. So if you would like to sign up, join my newsletter. Don't miss it. It's going to be in the description below. You get 3 free books for signing up. The best deal in all of science fiction and fantasy: a sci-fi book, a fantasy book, and a full superhero graphic novel. Very prolific over here, just like they used to be back in the day. Remember when there were like 26 episodes? And I think that's something that we got to keep in mind too. When you had 26 episodes a season, if you got a stinker or two, or you don't like the plot line that's going on or something like that, not a big deal. The next episode will be fine, right? And that's a big difference between when you have 8-10 episodes and they're all kind of carrying along the same storyline, and they all kind of carry along the same tone, and it's like, oh, you suddenly get 2 or 3 bad episodes. Well, that's like a third of your season, right? And so there's a lot less margin of error in modern TV than there was back then. Now, a big error that Voyager did was the Kazon storyline here in Alliances, which starts with like a dumb premise, okay? And so the Maquis on the ship are like, why don't we just ally with the Kazon after they've been shot at by the Kazon for like 2 years? The Kazon have tried to steal their technology, destroy Voyager on multiple occasions. They've got Seska, who moved over there, who is this like crazy Cardassian witch. And remember, these are Maquis people who are like Bajoran freedom-fighting people who hate the Cardassians and want them dead to begin with. Let's ally with them. It doesn't make any sense, right? Now, I get it. Voyager, on the other flip side, is traveling through the quadrant, and they have this whole problem for the thing, and they don't want to die and be facing a war every single time they're like trying to repair their ship. And so that makes sense on that level, that they'd try to figure out something with that. But this kind of doesn't work. Now, next, just on the world-building perspective, the Kazon, like, how big is their freaking empire? Why do they need that big of an alliance? How long do they anticipate being in Kazon space still? Like, I mean, they've got 70,000 light years, and it's going to take 70 years to go through that. Are the Kazon really that expansive? Because remember, they're not even that technologically sophisticated or anything like that. And you don't even got pictures of Kazons in this whole deal. Here's one of their raiders pulling up in the atmosphere later on in the episode. And it's like, okay, this is really odd. So, like, I mean, why don't you just warp 9 out of Kazon space for a couple of months and then figure it out, right? I don't know. Maybe their empire goes forever. But if that's the case, like, again, Voyager traveling at warp 9, these people traveling, I mean, unless they're chasing them the entire time, they're not going to face the same people again, right? And so it doesn't make any sense given the context of Voyager's, like, drive home, right? And that's the major world-building problem with this. Thirdly, the Kazon kind of suck, right? I'm going to title this Timu Klingons, right? Because that's what they really feel like in the show. They are like discount Klingons that are not that interesting, that like you don't care about throughout things, and you just kind of want them to go away. And of course, everybody during the first 2-3 seasons of Voyager were just like, when are we going to stop seeing the Kazon? It doesn't make any sense. And so this has been where it's at. Now, the last episode we left off, where Seska was working with the Kazon, and they kidnapped Chakotay and the like. And again, why would Chakotay work with them at that point? Was very interesting because it ended on a very creepy personal note, which was Seska being like, Chakotay, I'm pregnant with your child. And she apparently like stole his DNA and artificially impregnated herself, is what she said. And that was like, whoa, at the end of the episode. How creepy is that? That's a villain right there. So that was actually a Kazon episode I liked, which there's not many on this. Now, this one, like, as they try to forge an alliance, they send Neelix out, and Neelix goes on this, like, Han Solo mission to a seedy bar where there's, like, a dancing girl and all that. And it doesn't work with Neelix as, like, your dashing rogue sort of lead in this. He gets kidnapped and put into jail with these other people who are, I forget the name of them, but they are... who are they? They're like what is the name of these people? I don't remember, and there's too many texts here. So they're like the sworn enemy of the Kazon, though, and that is basically what's happening through this entire deal. Now, Neelix gets out and escapes that. Meanwhile, they are the Voyager is working with talking some Kazon to try to get some things going and make it work, and then they are trying to, of course, get Kulla, who's the Nistrum leader, who's like the biggest faction, to side with them at that. And so the Trabe, that's there we are, the sworn enemies of the Kazon. So the Trabe are a part of this deal, and that's what this guy is right here. He's one of the Trabe, and so that's what we have in this situation, and all set up. Now, it looks like the Kazon are going to attack, and it turns out it's a Trabe fleet, and the Trabe have the same ships as the Klingons. And then the Trabe are like, let's travel together. They form a pact with Voyager. Neelix rescued some Trabe, so they like him. And then he's like, hey, let's get all the leaders together, and maybe we can like actually hash this out and form a diplomatic solution. And Janeway's like, yeah, I like that idea. Sounds good. So we're going to end the Kazon environment the whole time. Now, again, Voyager's just super trusting of these random people they just met, which is kind of just stupid. And secondly, like the whole, Kazon element is just stupid anyway. Why are they trying to make peace with all the Kazon and all that? Well, they know exactly what's going on. And again, Seska is not somebody they're going to team with at this point. It's just nonsensical. Just a very flat episode. And the thing is, like, all this stuff happens because Neelix is out on his own, and the Voyager's just talking with the Kazon. There's no real drama during this. There, like I said, the last Kazon episode with Chakotay getting kidnapped and the like, and the pregnant Seska and all that, very high stakes character emotional moments, which was good. And that was like 4 episodes ago. Excellent episode. And you expect this to follow up on that, right? Seska mentions like 2/3 through the episode that she's pregnant, and actually just says that she's pregnant with the Kazon guy's Kulla's child, and doesn't interact with Chakotay or anything like that. So they have a big missed moment where it's just like they don't build any of that, and this episode just falls completely flat in the process. So what happens is Voyager goes there. They know there's going to be a problem with this conference and a betrayal or whatever, and it turns out that the Trabe are just as evil as the Kazon, and he set it all up so they get all the Kazon in a room together and try to blow them all up together, and Voyager has to hightail it out of there and warp out of there. So this is it. Like I said, back to the Kazon, and the problem is we're going to see the Kazon again in a few episodes, and it's like, again, why are these people just completely chasing after them? It just doesn't make a ton of sense, and the Kazon factor is just very boring by itself, and the Kazon world building is not interesting either. They're tribal, I guess, with the Ogla, the Nistrum, and whoever else the other Kazon tribes. So they're basically warlords, like in a Klingon empire, kind of, but not exactly. And they're warrior-like, but we don't say the honor stuff because that'd be too Klingon. And so there's nothing distinguishing or interesting about them is what comes out of this entire situation. Like I said, they dropped the ball with the Seska personal thing, and I think they could have made Seska into a better villain through this. And I know they're going to have another episode and kind of resolve that. But this is a rough patch of the season, and it only gets rougher. That's the crazy part, because the next episode we're going to cover, my friends, is Threshold. Yes, we got Threshold coming up. And I'm going to watch it. It's been a lot of years. And will that be worse than current Star Trek? I don't know the answer. We'll find out in a couple of days, my friends. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed my review and talk of this episode, Alliances. Didn't quite work out. Fell very, very flat. A lack of emotional moments. The Kazon suck. The falling for the Trabe trap is just like, kind of stupid of Voyager. And they never should have been in that situation to begin with. They should just be hightailing at warp out of the Kazon Empire and just getting away from them as fast as they possibly can. Why aren't they doing that? Oh, well. Space Fleet Academy is going to be my book. If you like logical science fiction, it'll be in the description below. Yeah. And my newsletter is a great place to sign up, so you stay in touch with me. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll be back soon.